Hello, Flat Rock students. Today I want to talk to you about our Lightbox books. You may have heard of these, you may have read some of these, but we have many new titles, and this is just going to be a good overview to help you see some of the books that you may want to be reading online in addition to what you're reading on Epic and other places in the classroom. So let's talk about how we can find these books. If you notice, I am on the Flat Rock Elementary School homepage. As long as you can get to the Flat Rock homepage, no matter where you are, if you have internet, you can read these books. So whether you're in the library, in your classroom, at home, traveling, if you have the internet, you can access these books. If you are just doing a search on a search engine such as Google or Safari, type in Flat Rock, typically from there, elementary school will pop up. There are a couple Flat Rock elementary schools in our country, so make sure you click on the one that's here in South Carolina. Usually, if you're searching here in South Carolina, it's one of the top ones on the search, but just make sure you click our school. You'll know it's our school because there's going to be pictures of our school, pictures of us. You'll notice our symbol here and our saying pride, purpose, and passion. So just make sure it is our site. You can see that this is, in fact, our site. Once you're here, it's very easy. Go to menu at the top. From menu, look under Media Center, and you will see that I have the library, I have Destiny, and I have Discus. Well, everything else is under library, but Destiny and Discus are so important, they have their own separate links. Lightbox books are here in Destiny. Remember that Destiny is where you go to find all the books in our school library. Now, every school in our district uses Destiny, so it's going to take you to this landing page, and you have to pick the school you want. I think you guys know what school to pick. You're going to pick Flat Rock Elementary School, so I'm just going to click on Flat Rock. And from there, I can go here to Catalog and find out what we have. So you can search for anything here, and we'll talk more about searching on Destiny for specific books you want to find. Today, I want to search for Lightbox books. And since I don't want to look for one in particular, I want to see all the books we have. I'm going to type in the words Lightbox. Now, it is important that you spell Lightbox correctly. If you spell it incorrectly, it might tell you that we have 0 books, and that would be wrong. We have a lot of books. So type it correctly, click enter, and now it's going to think and search, and there you go. It says that we have titles 1 through 25 of 165. What that means is this, that on this first page right here, it's going to show you the first 25 titles. Now, you can click over here on the right to show all, and then instead of just seeing 25 titles per page, you can just scroll on down and see everything we have. Either way you search is fine. That's just your preference, how you want to search. Now, it says that we have 165 books. Actually, we have about half that many, and let me explain why. For every single title, we have 2 entries. One for the physical book that's in our library, and the second one for the digital book that you can read online. Now, what's really cool with the digital book is that we have enough licenses for every student in our school to read it. So if your entire class wanted to read the same book, you all could. Only one of you could check out the physical book because I only have 1 copy of that, but everyone could get online. And the online book is identical to the physical book. You can turn every single page, it's identical, only there's even more stuff to do in the online book. So the online books are super cool to read. Let me just bring your attention to some of these. This very first one here, Amphibians, it says details and it says open. Because it says open, you know that this is a book you can open and read online. It tells you the author, it tells you when it was published, but what I want to specifically highlight for you today is the interest level. It says interest level 3 through 6. That means 3rd grade through 6th grade. Most of our Lightbox books are a 3rd through 6th grade interest level, though there are a few that will say kindergarten through 3rd grade. So just be aware of that and make sure that that is the reading level, the interest level that you want to read. If you are very interested in something and the level is a little bit too high for you, these books have the option to have it read to you. Or you could take your physical book home and read it with a family member. So I'm not as concerned if it's something that really interests you and you really are motivated and want to read it. If there are a few words that are hard for you, you might be able to excel and do great reading these books because you're so interested in them. But let's look at the variety of books that we have. You can see, and these are just in alphabetical order. We have things about different animals, about places, fresh water and grasslands, and people. Abraham Lincoln. Now, notice here, let's stop with this entry right here, that you have 2 entries. I wonder why. Well, notice that this very first one just says details. And the second one is identical, except it also says open. That's because this first one is the book in our library. It tells you the call number 92LIN. So you could go find that on the shelves in the biography section, or you could come here to the second one and you could just click open and read it right here online. That's the difference in those 2 entries. Notice this is an interest level of 3rd through 6th grade. This next one is the Afghanistan War. Let's just click into it and see. So I'm going to click open and it's going to load the book. Now, depending on what device you are on, it may ask you for the username and password. It did not ask me because I access Lightbox books on this device all the time. And usually after you type it in the first time, it's locked in and you don't have to do it again. But for your Chromebook in the classroom, the first time you log in, it's going to ask you for a username and password. If you're at home on a phone or on a tablet or whatever you have and you want to read something, it's going to ask you for the username and password. And I have made it just as easy as I possibly can. Every single book has the same username and password. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the username. The password is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if it asks you for username and password for any Lightbox book in our library, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the username. And then underneath that for the password, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, it didn't ask me because I've logged in before on this device, but I'm going to click here, open Lightbox, and now it's going to load the book. So you can see if I actually have the book in front of me, it would have the exact same pages in order. They're numbered. I could read the book. But here on this one, I have some options running down the bottom. I can have the book read to me, the audio. I can see pages that have videos attached to them. And this gives you further information. So if you're reading a page, it might have details about the places, pictures of where, in this case, the battles actually occurred. Or it might have a survivor of the war, a live veteran talking about it. There's all kinds of additional information that you can find when you're reading the digital version of the book. There's activities. There's web links. If you want further information on the topic, you can go to Google Maps and see where in the world it is talking about. All right. So I am not going to watch the videos or have it read the books to you online because the audio and that with this recording are not going to mesh up. But when you go to it, you just click these. It's very, very easy. Once you're in a page, for example, let's go to this page. Well, let's open it back up and let's go to the page. Let's say I'm on this first page. And you can see how easy it is once it loads the page just to turn the arrow from page to page to page. So it's just going to load the pages that way and I can read them. All right, I'm going back to my top browser here, back to my search results, because there's some other books I may want to look at. And let's just keep going down. You can see we have the American Revolution and more animals, animal behavior, camouflage, the Cherokee Indians, the Civil War, creating the Constitution. Friends, it has never been more important than to understand how we created our Constitution and the founding of our country than it is today. What a great book to read about the Constitution. Well, let's highlight this one on deserts for a minute because I want you to notice that this interest level is K through 3. That means kindergarten through 3rd grade are probably going to be the ones most interested in this title. That's because the reading level is at a level that a kindergartner, 1st grader could have great success reading. It doesn't mean you can't read it. It just means that it might be, if you're in a 5th grade, for example, it might be a little too easy for you. It still might be something that you enjoy. We have lots of natural disasters in these earthquakes, ecosystems, engineering. You want to know more about engineering and STEM activities? Well, here you go. Explorers all over the world. our American government. And you can see that we've got on and on, forces in motion, and forests and fractions. Now, we've just gotten to the F's. It can go all the way down, and you can keep on searching to the bottom of it. And let's just go and see what oh, let's look here. I see one on Orion. So you see we even have space and constellations. So if you search all the way to the bottom of these, you see that the very last entry that we have is the Italian explorers writing the Declaration of Independence, World War II. Friends, there's all kinds of things in these Lightbox titles. I hope you'll spend some time reading them. When you have time to read on Epic, you can read on this too, because these are online books. And if you want them read to you with earphones in, go for it. If you have questions for me, please let me know. And I hope that you will enjoy reading these titles. Happy reading.